Today I'm going to talk about the dangers of sharing your data online. You may not know this, but websites can track your data and they use it to predict what types of advertisements that you might like, what political campaigns you might be into. But this is also a major security risk as they could, provide this information to hostile parties, or if their website has like a data leak, which unfortunately happens all too often, this information could get into the hands of bad actors and be used against you. So today we're going to take a look at what that looks like and what steps you can take to protect yourself from this. So first and foremost, I want to look at this New York Times article. As you can see, what this author did was they visited, a bunch of different websites just like we do every single day, and they were able to see how many trackers there were on each one. So if you look at, for example, they started over on HuffPost, there was a ton of tracking mechanisms taking place there. They went on Twitter, it was the same deal, and you can see throughout the day they were tracked by hundreds of different tracking resources. Their data was completely exposed. What they're doing, what they're interested in was completely leaked. Which is, imagine this is just a 3 hour time span, and we search the web every single day, go to so many different websites. This could be really, really dangerous. So I want to talk about a couple of different things you can do to protect yourself. The first here is you can change your data and privacy settings. What we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple here on your Google account that you can change. For example, see, I already kind of did them, but for example, for web, if you go into your history, web and activity, if you have this turned on, you should turn it off. This could all be found by going to your main settings page into data and privacy. Um, if you have personalized ads on, make sure you turn those off. Personalization, make sure you turn that off. They can use that to look at what you're searching. Generally, everything that has to do with collecting your data, personalizing your ads, tracking your history, that should all be turned off. You can find history settings here, personalized ads here, and search personalization here. Now, if you go over to the other thing that we're going to talk about today, and because I'm on the MacBook, I can't really show you the whole thing, but this is how you turn off location services. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your settings on your phone. It's that little gray app, pretty common. Click on privacy and security. Click on location settings, and you're just going to flip that off. That way the apps can't track where you're going, because again, this is information that can be used against you in the case of a data breach. It can be very dangerous for your security.